Hi Virgo, welcome to your weekly check-in for the 17th to the 23rd of December. The messages are for Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising. Thank you very much to everyone who watches, likes, shares, comments on the video, subscribes to the channel. It's all greatly appreciated. If you want to book a personal reading, see the info in the description box on how to do that. So these are some of the decks I'll be using for today's reading. I'm going to start with a message from the Akashic Tarot, which I'm still using as an oracle deck, and that will be like your main theme, main message for this check-in. So what do we need to know for Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 17th to the 23rd of December? Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising, what do we need to know about you? Right, Two of Keys, the Treasure. Okay, this is an interesting card actually, if I remember what it's about. There can be something to do with loss here. But let's see what comes up for you with this. So for me, in this, because this Akashic Tarot deck, although I'm using it as an oracle deck, it's like an alternative tarot. And keys for me is closest to Pentacles in the traditional tarot. Right, so the message is, there's a message for if the card comes out upright or if it comes out reversed. I'm going to read both because it could be relevant either way. The tarot cards will tell us which way when we get the other tarot cards out. So upright, it says, a man looks dejectedly at a smashed treasure chest in a room that obviously has been robbed and plundered. Behind him, a stream of light shines from below the lid of an unbroken chest that rests on a small table, the only piece of furniture in the room that hasn't been touched. This card represents a great loss or disappointment in your life right now. It could be the loss of a job, a relationship, or even an opportunity. But remember that this phase is temporary. Excuse me. It might take some time and effort to rally your forces to recover. But there is a great treasure within you that is always available. The little chest represents that part of you that is filled with light. It isn't vulnerable and it can never be lost or damaged. When you focus on what's wrong or what's lacking, it perpetuates your sense of emptiness and victimization. So don't let yourself get lost in your loss. Open the lid to your light and let it illuminate your way. There are other opportunities and greater wealth waiting for you to discover. Reverse, the message says, in this exciting reversal, the lid on the chest with the treasure of light has fallen open. Some disruptive events may have made you feel vulnerable, but you haven't defined yourself through loss. You've unveiled your spirit and recognized the wealth of light and power inside you. The immediate future fills with manifest opportunity as well as new and abundant offerings from the universe that are coming to you now. So, as I said, I'm not sure whether it is loss or gain or recovery at this point until the tarot cards come out. But to be frank, before when I had my little break in between this reading and the last reading, I was thinking in terms of the Virgo message, be careful with your finances. So like, be careful with your spend. And I'm not trying to predict anything bad happening to anyone, but the thought came to mind. So yeah, be careful with your finances. You probably already do these things, but I'll just say it anyway. Be careful with your spending, with your finances, you know, check your bank account regularly. Be careful where your card is, who can see your password, you know, the usual safety things around money, even in terms of your house or home. Be careful in terms of locking the doors in your home when you leave, windows, with your car. Yeah, just be careful, because that thought of, yeah, there was something there even before I started doing the reading that was where I was thinking finances. Like, be really careful with financial fraud as well. I know that I've received quite a few text messages from people pretending to be recruiters, and I instantly knew it was bullshit, so I just blocked them straight away. But they can be pretty convincing, especially if you've given your information to a lot of different people for whatever reason. Like if you are looking for a job or something, be really careful. I think one of the tricks they've got going at the minute is where they pretend to be a recruiter, saying they've got such and such jobs. You give them your information and then they get the money out of your bank. There's a bunch of other things as well. I know something else I've come across is where I've got emails, fake emails from Amazon or whoever saying I've purchased such and such and I need to phone such and such a number. if there's a problem with the order or something, or if it's basically faking it, looking like you've ordered something that you know you haven't ordered, so that you'll phone them and then trying to get your details. But yeah, that sort of thing. I'm sure a lot of people are quite wise to that. Not everyone is, but yeah, I thought it was worth mentioning that, and I feel like that candle is probably going to go out. So I may have, yeah, okay, I'll do that quickly. Okay, Virgo, got the candle back. Yeah, again, just reiterating anything about finances or possessions. Be careful who comes into your house. Like you, and this is really sad, but I know that an incident happened many years ago within my family where one of our relatives passed away. We went to the person's home after the funeral, and my mother's purse was stolen, and it was family that did it. We don't know the exact person or people who did it, but we suspect who the person or people were, and yeah, it was family. So even that, like, just be careful. You know, you can have visitors who search through your stuff, and you know, if you're going out anywhere, be careful where you leave your coats, handbags, whatever. Just, yeah. Anyway, let's stop going on about financial safety and safety of possessions, and see what this is about. I mean, hopefully nothing will happen to anyone, but be careful anyway. So for Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising, I'm going to read the cards as I did in the previous week's reading with the past, present and future energies, but I'm going to begin with the theme for you, or a card related to the theme as well. So you've got the Chariot with the High Priestess. Okay. And past energy. Four of Cups. You then have the Emperor and Justice. Excuse me. And potential future energy. You've got the Death card. So the first thought I got with the Chariot and the High Priestess coming out, two meanings. Number one is that you don't know where you're going, and I don't mean that literally, but like if you're on a path or on a journey, or you're trying to choose a path or direction or a journey, you don't know where you're going. The second is that about needing to listen to your intuition in terms of your journey. This guy looks like Joe Jonas. I always notice weird stuff like that in cards. Is it just me? I don't know if you can see that. It might be too bright for you to see it actually, but he looks like Joe Jonas. That's weird. There's another card in this. I don't know if it's this one. It's either the Thelema or Arcanum. I've got them as a hybrid deck and mixed the ones that I like the most together. But there's someone that looks like Justin Bieber. I think it's the Page of Wands or something in one of them, or Page of Swords. But anyway, enough weird rambling. So the Chariot and the High Priestess, why are they there, please? Chariot and the High Priestess, why are you there? We've got the Magician. You've got the Five of Cups. I mean, that is loss there, isn't it? So you could be recovering from a loss or overcoming a loss of something, or a disappointment of some kind. But it actually, I mean, what card is here? The Four of Cups. Okay. I would say even if you are overcoming a loss or disappointment, it's a strong energy that you've come in with. That it's not the kind of loss where, well, all loss is loss, isn't it? Loss hurts. But it looks like you have the strength and the energy to kind of turn things, I don't know if it's turn things around or keep going or something to that effect. So even if there has been some sort of loss, it's like you're still moving forward with the Chariot energy there. And I would say that you could be very well aware that you have the power to keep going. Oh, five. I was hoping that wouldn't come out actually, but I was thinking if it comes out here, that is going to be really scary, because with the Five of Pentacles and that card coming out and what I was talking about, loss, yeah, that could be pretty scary. There could be, certain things, you know, as a reader, sometimes you don't want to say things, but I have to be honest about things. There could be something here with someone losing their home. Whether it is a home that you've bought, or in terms of if you've got a landlord and they want you to move out. I did get the burglary vibe. I mean, this card is kind of like a burglary anyway, so that's not a surprising one. But yeah, in terms of inheritance, because that Five of Cups is there, which is the loss there could be more associated with like grief, and loss through someone passing away. There could be something relating to inheritance as well, where I don't know if somebody was meant to inherit something. And yeah, I've had a lot of stories in the past several years or so where I've heard stories about families where the elder has died and the families have battled over the property and stuff like that, and it's some crazy stuff, because these people, that the person that's passed away is usually somebody who's like in their 80s or 90s or something. So the people that are fighting over the property are people in their bloody 50s and 60s. You think they'd have more sense at that age, wouldn't you? You sort of think maturity, people, come on. You sort of expect 20-year-olds to be fighting over property and stuff like that, but yeah, it's people who are older. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about that, so that could be relevant. And then you've got the Justice and the Emperor card there, so there is the potential for legal matters in that sense if there was something like that happening. But let's see as we continue. I will look at the Five of Cups and Five of Pentacles on their own, actually, because they are such... Yeah, they're not the happiest cards in the deck to get, are they? Right, so Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so there's definitely, if there has been some kind of loss, rejection, whatever it is, there's definitely the potential for change here. You probably are aware of that, to be honest. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. You've got the Queen of Swords. And I've said this week, well, probably in a couple of the readings, the Queen of Swords kind of comes up as honor and integrity. You've got the Three of Wands there, so... Next to the Queen of Swords, in terms of intentions, whatever your intentions are, whatever the situation is, there is a sense of honor and integrity with that. And the same with the Six of Wands as well, because that is a person who is, it can be about success, but to me it's somebody that people look up to, isn't it? So that again speaks of honor, integrity. This person is valued, they're respected. I've lost a card. What was that? You've got the Moon there. Again, I will reiterate this thing about being careful of people's intentions. Even family members, the Moon fell on the floor, even family members, because trust me, from personal experience, people that you've known for decades, you think you know who they are, and yeah, it's not who you thought it was. And to be frank, the signs can be there of who the person really is or their true intentions, but you kind of, if you're someone that wants to see the best in people and you love that person, then any red flags you will kind of just make excuses for it. And I'm not saying that I'm definitely not saying that we should be on constant alert for red flags, because that can make people just far too jaded as well, where all you're ever doing is looking to put someone down or for them to prove that they're a piece of shit, which I don't think we should be doing that. But as I said, sometimes the signs are there with people that you're close to, whether it is a family member, friend, whatever, where you do make excuses for certain behaviours, and then it blows up, and there's like a tower where you realise that the little things that you thought, oh, well, I'll make this excuse for them, oh, they're going through this, or there's that and that. The excuses that you made, it was actually them showing their true colours. So, yeah, sorry, that was quite heavy, wasn't it? Right, so I said, so we're still doing the main cards. Again, it was a case of you maybe don't know what direction you're going in, or it's needing to use your intuition. So as I said, it looks like there's some kind of loss here, but you probably know that you have the power to change things. And again, I made that reference to honor and integrity here with your intentions. Let's look at the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. This one was first. So you've got the Devil and the... Oh, wow. Right. So someone could have broken your trust, to be honest, because as I've said about the Five of Cups, I did mention a reference to grief. So that is one possibility, that somebody, there is an element there. I'm not predicting a death, or I'm not trying to predict a death, but a loss that's already happened. with that devil energy there and the Three of Pentacles, this can be people that you collaborate with, but there is that devil energy there. I will get another card. I mean, you could fear trusting people if you've had previous bad experiences, but it could also be there is someone around you that you can't trust, or you have to be very careful about who you trust. With the Five of Cups, I've said before that a lot of the time, the Three of Cups here for me feels like that literal Three of Cups card on its own. But with the cups tipped out, it's where you should have had supports and bonds with people. And it's just, yeah, it's not what you thought, or it hasn't, it's something's broken the bonds or the trust or the support. So let's get one more with that Five of Cups. Ooh, yeah, I would say this is about trust, to be honest. You've got the High Priestess again. It's kind of indicating needing to trust your intuition. You've got the Four of Pentacles. This person is wary. They're very wary, but it doesn't necessarily feel like the bad type of wary, where it's necessarily that you're overly protective. It's assessing, isn't it? It's judging who you can trust, who you can't trust, what situations you can trust, what you can't trust, that sort of energy. Let's look at the Five of Pentacles. This discernment, I would say it feels more like discernment than the just holding on too tightly to something. So Five of Pentacles, please. I will say somebody could have been taken advantage of financially here as well. That is one possibility. So Five of Pentacles clarified by the Two of Cups and the Empress. Let's get another one for that. Ace of Cups, wow. Excuse me. Yeah, you've got the Five of Wands there. That is, I mean, it can be challenges, it can be conflicts with others, it can be arguments. I know you've got some quite positive looking cards here with that Two of Cups, Empress, Ace of Cups. I mean, that to me in itself represents like a close bond with someone, because you've got the feelings there, the feelings of love, you've got the connection there, you've got the Empress. Potentially a mother or someone's mother could be involved here, but if it's not a mother, it's just, it could be a maternal energy. Maternal would be aunt, grandma, that sort of thing. But just someone very nurturing. I mean, if you've been taken advantage of, then you could be this Empress energy, and you've had a bond with someone or whatever, and something's happened where, yeah, there could have been a rejection, arguments, whatever. Something has happened that has ruined that. Could be a colleague as well at work or something, or an acquaintance. It doesn't, I mean, for these feelings, it seems like it would be someone pretty close with the Two of Cups and the Ace of Cups. But let's just round it up by saying broken trust overall with those energies. But that, I mean, that could be what you're recovering from, to be honest. Or if there has been broken trust or a broken relationship, it may have had some sort of impact on your path in general moving forward now. Like, say, if you were taken advantage of financially, that will have an impact on your life. I mean, obviously it depends on how much. If it's just like a fiver or something like that, it's not good, but you know what I mean? That's a bit different from thousands of pounds worth. That could cause someone to lose their house, couldn't it? There might be something here with a landlord. I did mention somebody being kicked out by their landlord, but there could be something about a landlord having a problem with tenants as well, because tenants can leave people in debt too. So that's a weird... And then you've got the Emperor and the Justice, because the Emperor card would be like the boss, and then Justice can be legal matters. Again, I'm saying that again. So yeah, somebody could have had an issue with tenants or business partners or something to that effect. Right, so let's try and summarize this energy, because I've babbled on for ages. There's the potential financial loss or some sort of loss, a broken friendship there. You may not be sure which way to go now, but you'll need your intuition to guide you. Whether that is about discernment or just choosing a direction. You probably recognize that you have the power to change things and go ahead. And if you're not already, which you probably are, in an energy where you have integrity, honor, truth, etc., then that's an energy that you need to move forward with. So after all that babbling, let's look at that Four of Cups. I mean, that's past energy. So whatever's happened, it's happened, I would say. Which is me repeating myself by saying whatever's happened, happened. The Four of Cups, it is a disappointment. And again, you've got that the three cups there, where she might be looking and thinking, is that support, do I have the support I need? Is that support what it should be or should have been? Let's see what that Four of Cups tells us. Eight of Cups, so someone's had to walk away from something. I mean, whether it's someone walked away from you and that left you disappointed, or someone broke your trust and you had to walk away from them. So you've got the Eight of Pentacles, you've got the Ten of Cups, you've got the Strength card. Let's get one more. You've got the Moon and you have the World. Okay. Well, this is quite positive, to be honest. Like, even if you've been disappointed, experienced loss, walked away from something, it's like there's an energy, like I said before, there's an energy of moving on. Like, even if you've been through shit, you're still prepared to move on, to be honest. So let's look at the I think I'll look at the Eight of Cups and Eight of Pentacles. Maybe the Moon as well. I mean, usually if with the Strength card having the Moon in between that and the World, that is kind of where you go off on a new path, on a new direction. You're ready to start again, but you're facing the unknown, but you're facing it with courage, aren't you? Because you've got the Strength card there. So Eight of Cups. So the truth could have come out about something, or you see something clearly, like it can be seeing someone for who they really are, finding the truth out about something. God, I'm not going to use these cards, but I will show you what they are. You've got the Four of Wands and the Devil. I mean, the Sun for me is often clarity. The Four of Wands, you got a foundation there, but the Devil, it's kind of like revealing the truth about a foundation. Maybe it wasn't that solid, to be honest. So Eight of Cups, Knight of Wands. I kind of feel like those fell out of the deck, but I'll still use them, right? Yeah. This reading is not focused on the loss, which is a good, I mean, not to deny hurt, pain, that sort of thing. Like, I'm not an extreme love and light person who just wants to completely ignore negative stuff. I'm not that person. Like, I'll go into the dark stuff. But this energy is very much one that you're not going to dwell on the on loss. By the looks of it, you won't dwell on loss. It's just like, right, it's happened and I've got to move forward. That's what I'm getting from this. So as I say, the Ace of Swords there looks like it's where the truth has come out, or you've gained clarity on what you need to walk away from, whatever's disappointed you. The Knight of Wands for me is like, right, that's happened, I'm choosing a new direction. The Knight of Pentacles, it's kind of dedicating yourself to a new path, but it's a path or a direction that's more honorable. Death, it's that you're kind of accepting what's gone and ready for the rebirth, aren't you? Let's look at the Eight of Pentacles. I mean, I would say Eight of Pentacles next to Ten of Cups, it's like being willing to put in the work for whatever it is that is genuinely fulfilling and what's the word, sincere. It's not sincere actually that I'm thinking of, but it's a word similar to sincere. Probably not honorable, genuine, authentic, yeah. So like, say if it was a relationship, a romantic relationship with someone where you've discovered the truth about that I don't know, the person was cheating, that's obvious, or that they were just trying to take advantage. I'm thinking of 90 Day Fiancé. I haven't ever watched the program, but I've seen like a few articles about it and stuff, and whoever watches it, feel free to share any comments on that. I can't imagine that. I kind of imagine that most of those relationships are not genuine, to be honest. So I'm getting that kind of vibe where if you've discovered the truth that it wasn't as genuine as you thought, this is where you go for authentic, you're going for authentic happiness now, not what appeared a certain way. It's no, I want the real deal. So let's look at the Eight of Pentacles. So we've got the Page of Pentacles and this, yeah, this is where you're willing to start again, to be honest. Like, whatever's gone, it's like, yep, moving on from that, I'm willing to start again. I'm willing to put in the effort and rebuild. Let's just have a quick look at that Moon card out of curiosity. If I can not destroy the cards in the process. You know, the first thing that's coming to mind with that is the truth will set you free. Because with the moon card, it's things that are hidden. It can be hidden emotions, but it's basically the fears, the doubts, but things that are hidden, things that are in the dark. It could be secrets, and then you've got the tower there, which that's where the secrets would come out, wouldn't they? Yeah, you've got burdens there, the things you can't see because that person's face is hidden. And with the 10 of Wands, is where you come to the end of the burdens. It's I am getting there could possibly be, this could represent a bit of deceit. I know the 7 of Swords isn't there, but it's like not the roadblocks. I can't think of the blinders. I'm getting something like that. The blinders, the things that block your view of something, so you can't see it clearly. You can't necessarily see the truth of what's happening. But as I say, it's like that truth will set you free vibe there. And then you get justice, which is, you could say justice is the truth will set you free, because it's where you learn the truth about something. So then things, it's kind of like you kind of get your justice in that sense by finding out the truth, even though it probably doesn't feel like justice. So yeah, I'll move on. So that was the past energy, 4 of Cups. It's disappointment, obviously. You've walked away, but it looks like you're ready to just carry on moving forward. You probably discovered the truth about something as well. But yeah, it's like, yep, it's done. I'm moving on. Basically, that's all I can say about that. Let's go to the Emperor and the Justice card. I mean, I would say first and foremost, just the Emperor and Justice on its own. It's like, imagine that you're the Emperor energy and you're the one creating your own justice, really, whatever that means to you. And this is the current energy here. So the Emperor and Justice, why is that there, please? And Temperance is a card of, kind of like a card of creation in a way, isn't it? Creating something new from 2 different substances. You've got the 4 of Pentacles there. That is a protective energy again. It doesn't necessarily feel bad, as in like overly protective, but let's see what else comes out. It may have made you more cautious. Whatever's happened, if something's happened where you've been deceived, lost, etc., it makes you more cautious. I feel cautious is the key word here. And then you've got the King of Pentacles. So yeah, I mean, again, the financial element of things is coming up here. You may be more cautious now so that you can build successfully, and you ensure that you have what you need. And another thing that can happen is if you're a really generous person and you're always helping people out financially, and you give away so much that you never sort of question it, or you've trusted because the people that you were giving to, you thought you could trust them, like that's not your fault, but it leaves you lacking. Sometimes it can leave you lacking if you're always giving to other people, and that might be why you need to be more cautious, because maybe you've overgiven to people. But let's see what else comes up. 4 of Wands. I mean, that is a more solid foundation, isn't it? Or it's at least rebuilding a new foundation. Emperor, again, it's you in the lead. You have your sovereignty, you're the one taking control. And you've got the Page of Wands there. So for me, that often feels like answering the call, but it's also about exploring, being on a new journey. So let's look at the 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, it feels like being more cautious, because you know what's important. You have a greater sense of value, whether it is about yourself, your resources, your property, your possessions, that sort of thing. Let's look at the 4 of Wands on its own as well. This is a new journey. It is a new journey. So you've got the excuse me, you've got the pain, loss, disappointment there. But you have the ability to learn from it and create a new foundation. I mean, the Hermit and the 6 of Swords, and here he is, are both on a journey, aren't they? I mean, it does show throughout the reading where I said it's like, even though something's happened, you are moving on. And to be able to do that, it means that you're learning from what you've experienced. So I keep saying this person feels like the Hermit. It feels like your inner knowing guiding you on a new journey. You've got what's sacred there, what's valuable, she actually looks the same, doesn't she? I don't know if you can see that. She looks very similar, if not the same. The Queen of Pentacles there. She's in green as well. Well, kind of. But yeah, you've got what you value there, whether it's your self-worth, your possessions, whatever you hold sacred. You've got your inner knowing, and you've learned from the pain and the disappointment, and now you can build a stronger foundation. So let's look at that Page of Wands. And this could be disappointment for someone who started a business as well. Maybe you've dealt with dodgy people in that business and that's how you've ended up losing something. But you've learned now, and you can go forward with more knowledge and build a stronger foundation, as I've said 50 times. So Page of Wands, so that's the Two of Swords clarifying that. Right, you've got quite a few here, so I'm not sure what was first, to be honest. Right, let's do that, and that. I would say with that Ten of Swords, it's like the worst is over. You may still have a teeny little bit of if you've been deceived, there may be a little bit of a trust issue here. Like you're willing to kind of go ahead and explore and try again. But understandably, you would have a little bit of a trust issue. You might be still learning, because the Page of Wands can be learning as well on their journey. You might be having to learn to trust people again, which is completely understandable. There's a thing about being a bit reserved with your feelings with this King of Cups as well. Like he's emotionally mature, but he can be reserved with his feelings. So say if you were too open and helpful to people, you might be a bit more reserved with that in the future. You might be like, yeah, you're not gonna, because the King of Cups can be very supportive and loving and affectionate. So there is the potential that he could be taken advantage of. Like he could fall for a sub story. If he's in like I guess you'd say in a lower vibration, maybe. I'm not sure how that would work. But because he is emotionally tapped in, he could be taken advantage of more so than the other kings. So you may still be learning to trust people again, or you might be learning to be a bit more discerning, because you've got this energy here that is that defeatist kind of unpleasant energy of people taking advantage. You've got the Eight of Swords, which kind of makes me think about it's where you don't necessarily trust yourself. And another example again would be in relationships, romantic relationships, or even friendships actually, where you might have been too trusting and open with people. And that doesn't mean it's your fault, because some people are really good manipulators, like very powerful manipulators. They can really get people to trust them. If you are someone who is quite empathic as well, then I've done it where you fall for a sub story very easily. I've done it quite a lot often. I've done that quite a lot, to be honest. But yeah, so there's a thing about discernment here at the end. You might be learning in terms of discernment, or whether or not to trust people a bit more. So that is what are we on? We're on the Emperor and Justice, are we? I believe. So yeah, it does make sense actually. I had to think then. Creating your own sense of justice, what's fair for you, and taking the lead in being in charge of what's fair for you, I would say. So let's put these away. I think these are the sub-clarifiers, aren't they? Let's go into that future or potential future energy for you. Which is the Death card, and that's change. Things change. Things will change even more. Maybe that's a rebirth for you as well. The death of the old and a rebirth. But let's see what clarifies it. And as I've said, the future's not set in stone. You have free will, or the people have free will. It all impacts things. So whatever happens as a future, in the future part of a reading, it's dependent on what you choose and what you do. It's just one potential event or version of what can happen, depending on what you do. So, Death card, we've got the Five of Swords. You have, well, that's a rebirth with the Judgment card and Death. That is a definite rebirth. That's where you've literally learned from whatever, and you come out of the other side a different person, don't you? Or a different version of yourself. Eight of Wands. For me, that kind of feels, that's that moving on again energy, moving for progression, actually. Progression, I would say. If there's a rebirth, then there's definitely a progression. Seven of Wands, that can be connected to that whole discernment thing again, like standing up for yourself, standing up for what's right. Let's get one more. And then you've got the Queen of Pentacles, again, that card of values and self-worth. So let's just have a quick look at that Five of Swords. The Fool. The Hermit and the Page of Swords. I still feel like this is more to do with discernment. Again, that whole thing about who you can trust. Thinking about who you can trust, because you've got the Hermit there and the Page of Swords. This is where you've been on that kind of journey and learned a new truth, learned something about yourself, learned about other people. Excuse me. The Fool is there. There's two things that come up for this Fool. So number one, if there is any part of you, which a lot of us have a part of us that is vulnerable, naive, whatever you want to call it, it's not a negative. It's that part of you that people can tap into and take advantage of, isn't it? And we all have that. I mean, I don't know if you've heard the theory that with narcissists, people think that narcissists only pick really vulnerable, gullible people. But I think the theory actually is that narcissist, genuine, I'm not talking about just the way that everybody likes to label everybody a narcissist, but genuine narcissists target strong, powerful people because they get a kick out of taking those people's power. So if you are someone who's confident, assertive, and you're thinking nobody could ever take advantage of you, a narcissist potentially could, because they are the masters of manipulation. I mean, if you don't believe me, you know, have a look. Have a look and see. The internet is there. But that's a theory I've read quite a few times about. For a narcissist, it would be no fun. Like a proper hardcore, genuine narcissist, it wouldn't be fun to pick someone who's really vulnerable and gullible. It would be like, what's the point? They want to pick somebody who's who they feel is. I don't like speaking about people like this, but I will say of high value. So, for example, if they might pick someone who's got strong moral values and then break that person down, because the whole point for them is breaking someone down, isn't it? Or somebody who's highly respected in their community, they'd probably want to break that person down, but they wouldn't want to pick the mousy, for the most part. They probably wouldn't want to pick somebody who's mousy and too overly quiet, and, you know. But if you want to share different theories on that in the comments, feel free. But yeah, so that feels more like discernment here about who you can trust, the situations you can trust. And then, as I say, you've got the rebirth here. There's progression. There's standing up for what your values are, what you believe in yourself, etc. It is the rebirth there. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to get your final advice. And it does take loss in whatever capacity that is. It can take loss to get to this point, can't it, where you have that rebirth and develop that sense of discernment. I think a lot of people, how do people become more discerning when it comes to romantic relationships? By being treated like shit a lot. Well, no, that's probably an exaggeration, but a lot of people tend to go through negative experiences in relationships before they get to the point of being really assertive and getting their needs met, don't they? That's how they learn. That's how you learn to get what you want, is having to experience the loss or the disappointment or whatever it is. So I'm not saying it happens to everyone, but I think it probably does for a lot of people. Again, if you want to share your thoughts on that, feel free. I'm not a relationship expert, so right. Let's get you some final advice, and I don't know what I'm going to call this, to be honest. I've got a little thought, but I'm not 100% certain. Right, final advice for Virgo's Sun, Moon and Rising, please. There we go. You have Air Guardian, shift your perception. And that's, I mean, obviously it's an air card, so it's thoughts. And you have Moon, take note of intuitive messages. I mean, you got that whole intuition thing there. So that, for me, it really, both the shift your perception and the take note of intuitive messages feel like it's about strengthening your sense of discernment. Again, in terms of the trust issues as well. Yeah, it really feels like there is probably quite a big thing about discernment. And if you are struggling to move on from something as well, although it didn't look like that, it could be for some that there is a struggling to move on from disappointment and loss. It's shifting your perception about what you can learn from that and how you can gain your power from the situation. And as I said, how do we learn to become assertive and strong and get what we want? Sometimes it is through experiencing loss and disappointment, isn't it? So I'll leave the message there for you, Virgo. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want a personal reading, see the info in the description box. But other than that, take care.